cloud. Okay. All right, Brittany. So thank you for meeting with me. We just finished up our coaching call, and thank you for taking the time to share with other people about your experience. I'm going to ask you just a couple questions and allow you to share your experience. So, what was it that was going on in your life before you and I started working together that had you reach out and decide to start working with me?
Okay, so when I first I found you on TikTok. I was kind of at an all-time low. I just gotten a divorce 2 years before and had just gotten in a new relationship within the year. Not sure, like, was I moving too quickly? Was I healed enough from that divorce? I also had some trauma from my mom. And you were just an avenue that I felt like, just from what I had seen off your videos, it was the path I needed to take to figure out the answer to those questions. And I just feel like the three things that have really changed for me is I've gained a lot more confidence. I'm able to communicate my boundaries a lot better with people. And I'm just a more positive person, and negative comments or negative thoughts don't really interest me anymore. That's where my mind used to live, whereas now I don't even think about that.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah, you've shared with me your experience and like how it's impacted your work life, your personal life, like and really all avenues, like life with your family too. And you've
Absolutely.
done such an amazing job, like going through this journey to healing. What advice would you give for other people who might be where you were and are looking for a way? Like a lot of people I've worked with have, worked with traditional talk therapists, but my experience and with the clients, they just kind of talk about the symptoms, but don't get to the root cause of what's causing that to really transform. And some people, okay, I don't want to ask too many questions. So, what advice would you give for people who are kind of feeling stuck or maybe have those same questions, especially after having come out of a toxic relationship, knowing it, there's more to it than just that relationship?
Yeah. I would say my advice is don't ever stop asking questions if you feel that there's something deeper you need to dig into. And if it takes, you reaching out and just asking questions to people, do it. I mean, I never would have found Sarah if I hadn't done that. So I really think that's just part of it. You can't have this, barrier up, and you can't always think you know everything. You need to really reach out to people and ask those hard questions, because sometimes you'll be surprised and it'll be the answer to everything you've looked for.
Yeah. So, what have you liked most about working together?
I just think the virtual is really nice. I like that you can schedule it on your own time. You can do the exercises on your own time. You've been really kind and supportive even when we don't have a session. I have never felt like I couldn't reach out and just say, "Hey, I'm having this feeling or this thought. Walk me through that." I didn't really utilize that as much as I think I should have. But I like that it's an option and you do offer that.
Yeah, very cool. Let's see. I don't, I think, I mean, there's more questions we could ask, but where do you see, or how do you see your life will be different now? Like having gone through this from where you were.
I think, well, I'm becoming a mom, which was a shock. So I'm excited. I'm nervous. There's a lot that I really need to dig into still for myself, but this has been like the jumping board into that. And I think I'm going to be a better person to other people that I come in contact with, as well as my own kids. So I'm glad that I'm not going to carry that toxic trait to other people. And I think that's so important, especially today. Like, you meet so many toxic people in day to day life. So it's good to not be one of them.
Yeah, and it's so easy to spiral down into that, like when your mind is already in that place.
Mhm.
Now it almost feels like repellent, or it just like, oh,
Yeah. Like, it's almost like you can see the red flag before it's even in front of you sometimes. So it's, it's just given me a new outlook on life and a new perspective.
yeah. And that's most likely something that you saw before. Like a lot of people I work with, they saw it, they kind of got that intuition, that gut feeling, but then they ignored it for some reason.
Yeah.
So, what's been the difference in that area of your life for you?
I think, when I was seeing the flags, it was almost like you feel like you've jumped too far into the relationship or into the friendship. and you're like, okay, there is a red flag, but like, what do I do with it? And it was so hard. I was such a people pleaser. So instead of, setting those boundaries and telling people like, look, you're not good for me, I need to separate myself, or, say it in a nicer way than that, I would just let it be whatever. I'm like, I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. And now I'm not a people pleaser. And now I know I have my own boundaries and I need to set those for others, because it's important for other people to look at you the way you look at yourself. Like, I am worthy of a good connection and a good relationship. And I'm not going to let other people take that from me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Brittany, and thank you so much for sharing and hopefully giving some hope to others who are in the same place that you are.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Thanks.